Right, good morning. Welcome to a very windy day. But yes, I got asked a question the other day. Is the G or F or whatever 650 any good? And then I thought to myself, no and yes. Yes and no. And then I realised 10 years. This month, me and this bike have been together 10 years. That's insane. So half my biking career now has been on this. That's crazy. So it took me 10 years to find you, and 10 years, and it's not the best bike, and I always say that it's not the best bike, but it is a jack of all trades. Master of none, as they say. Master of none. Jack of all trades, master of none, but a master of none is better than a master of one. And you know, that's where this bike is. And I don't think everyone should get one of these, because not everyone wants a jack of all trade bike. I mean, I can do road trips with it, off-roading, short rides, slow rides, fast-ish rides, slow-ish rides, you know. Where are you going? Well, look, I'll put a link below for my review, so watch my review. But basically, yeah, 10 years in this bike, 68,000 miles. Yeah, it doesn't get as much use nowadays, so I tend to use it only for trips. And I've got one more road trip this year coming up, so I thought I'd just get it out, shake the cobwebs out a little bit, and then let it, you know, just make sure it's all fine. I've already spotted that my heated grips aren't working, but that's because, you know, there's my dodgy wiring. So I reckon that this panel's a bit of a pain, and when I put it back on, I reckon I've unclipped the wiring. So hopefully it's just a case of just feeding it up and back in. I thought I should be able to just unclip this button. It's definitely the button. 100% it's just the button. It's not a fuse or anything. It's just the button. So yeah, I mean, it's really hard to explain. Like, I think not many people out there have owned a motorcycle. I mean, maybe they have, but you know, who's owned a motorcycle for 10 years and like properly used it? I don't know. Some people do, you know, own a bike, but they only have the one bike, or they, you know, this is used all year round, you know, and just absolutely abused as well. And the only thing I can say is, like, if you're thinking about getting one of these, or you're interested in getting something like that, because quite a lot of people come to my channel now and they ask about it, so I just thought I'd do a little update about it. But like, is it the bike for you? Well, the thing is, if you buy one of these, they're going to be high mileage now, usually, and if bits need doing on them, they can be expensive. Parts are expensive on the BMWs. So, and you know, if you're going to have it for like a year, I can't. It's so off camber here. I don't think I can do it. Or maybe. What was I saying? Yeah. So parts are so expensive on these things. Like, do you want to own one of these? Like. I mean, the problem is you buy one of these for like $1,000 and a bit, and it might need a bit of work doing, you know. And you can find a really good condition one for about $3,000, which is crazy, because I paid about $3,000 for this one 10 years ago now, and that was from BMW. It was an approved used one, so it came with a year's warranty of BMW. Or was it 2? It was like a year and a bit of warranty. I remember it was like 1 year and 3 months or something. I remember because I got the first service and I got BMW to service it because I wanted to keep the warranty going. But yeah, I had a warranty basically. That was fine, you know, whatever. But how is it? Well, the thing is, like, if you're going to buy one of these, you're going to be spending, you know, high mileage and all that. And if you have to do a repair early on, it's like quite expensive for parts on these bikes. And not, you know, parts are expensive, but they last so much longer. So the parts last an incredible, like, so I owned this and a CRF at the same time. I did. CRF 250, and I used them equal amounts, I'd say. Like, they literally were doing the same sort of mileage every year. They were, and they were both used and abused just as much as each other, and you can definitely attest to that. And I keep spreadsheets of how much stuff costs and everything like that, and the breakdown was that the CRF was actually costing me more in parts and repairs and service items than this did. The only thing that was more expensive on this bike was the oil, but everything else was more expensive on the CRF. Air filters were more, oil filters were more. It was just, all of those are about the same, but just like in general, parts wear out quicker. I had wheel bearings fail on the CRF, fork seals go, yada yada yada, all that stuff, and it worked out a lot more. The CRF was a lot more. The Beamer, the parts, you put a part on and it seems to last for a very, very long time. Most of the parts. I've got a couple of problems that I keep having to fix and all that stuff, but yeah, generally speaking though, the shocking thing is the year running costs was cheaper than my CRF, which was crazy considering that both bikes were very similar. Like, they're very similar tools. I think the CRF just lacked a bit of that poke, whereas this, you know, has quite a lot more torque and acceleration. Okay, it's a bit heavier, but I actually felt like it actually at slower speeds the 650 is much easier to handle, the weight slower down, and the way the engine has a big piston going around there, it just seems to balance out really well. So, and you can see I did a skills thing at Overland event one year, and you know, I'm very pleased with that, because he said go every other cone on the slalom. I did every single cone, proper tight as well. I might put a link to that video down below as well. But the bike handles fine, like, well, you know, it's the rider or whatever. And at the time when I did that, I had no oil in my fork or something. I think one of my forks had no oil in, so I did really well with that. Yeah, now once you've upgraded the suspension, that's the only thing. I think that's the only upgrade that I think you want to do if you do get one of these and it hasn't been done yet, is get the Hyper Pro progressive spring fronts. They're the only thing that I would recommend upgrading on these bikes. Just them front suspension. Not sure on all models, and it's, you know, it's user preference, but I prefer the Hyper Pro progressives on the front. That's the only upgrade that I would 100% recommend doing. That's it really. This bike has been such a beast over the years. Like, the amount of abuse that it's taken is insane. And a part of me is like, how is this still running? 68,500 miles. Let's see, I've got one more road trip, so this could be getting on to 70,000 miles by the end of this year. So it's been, and I keep looking at it, and I think there was a year I didn't use this bike. I think it was maybe during COVID or something. Like, during that time, this bike just sat in the back of the garage. The battery was dead, you know, by the time I got to it. You know, I just completely forgot about it. It was covered over. The battery was old anyway, so I was like, well, that's a dead battery. And yeah, that was just a shame really, but yeah. And then put a new battery in, and it didn't turn back on again. No, it didn't. It was the key barrel issue that I had, which I've done a whole video about. So yeah, like I say, it's not been without its issues, but the fact that I've been able to fix it all myself, and you know, there's plenty of guides and so many people that have had these bikes over the years. There's enough information out there. There's readily parts, mostly parts are available still. Most of the new parts are still available. You know, they've been making these for whatever 20 years now at this point. They stopped making them like in 2012 or 2014, I think. which is a shame because the emission rules and all that stuff, they just got too expensive to make, 650 singles, but the engine still lives on. The BSA Gold Star 650 is the 652cc, same as this, 652cc Rotax engine. It's weird, it says it's 650, it's not, it's 652 cc's. But yeah, I don't know what brake horsepower it is. I think it's around 50, 51, 52, and depending on what website you look at, some say it is A2 compliant, some say it isn't A2 compliant. It's right on that borderline. So I think it is, but well, with the weight and everything, and plus they lose a bit of brake horsepower over the years, this is definitely A2 compliant as well. So there should, I mean, not that I never had a, I know my license is from before then, before that nonsense came out. But yeah, this is a really good, you have to look it up and just double check, but I think it probably is one of the best A2 bikes you can get, probably, and it's probably why people want them. But double check to make sure it is A2, because I don't know, it seems to be just over that limit or just under that limit. It's around the limit, so you have to take into extra consideration. But yeah, I mean, it's just been absolutely, this bike lived outside for a good, how many years does it live outside for? I think a good 2 years. It spent a good amount of time outside. No cover, nothing, and but it was my daily driver. And the only thing that really annoyed me is that this the keyhole, the key barrel, and the petrol tank barrel, if it had been a particularly hard frost, the key wouldn't go in, so you just had to put a bit of hot water. It's really annoying when you de-ice your key barrel. You go to the petrol station, you can't get petrol because it's frozen. So you have to go into the petrol station after some warm water, so I can't get my key thing open. Like it's just frozen. So that wasn't the best. I just thought I'd give it a little spin down today anyway. Blow the cobwebs off. I can't remember the last time I used it was, probably a couple of months ago. It wasn't that long ago. But yeah, it's the 1st of October, or around the beginning of October now. I don't think it's the 1st, I think it's the 3rd or 4th now. But I always tax my bikes at the beginning, and then, yes, that's really annoying that this bike is a 652cc's, puts it in the highest tax bracket. Which is really, really annoying. I mean, they have to do the line somewhere, but it's really annoying that this bike is caught up in that. So you're paying the highest tax bracket for this bike. Such a lot of money. But then I can't really grumble too much, can I? Because the only bike, well, almost the only bike I own that has to pay vehicle tax, the Jawa pays vehicle tax for 1 more year, and then that's it. But that's only about 40 quid or something. Was it 60 quid? I can't remember now. This is like 60 quid for 6 months. 66 pounds for 6 months. That's the really the only downside. The silly thing is, because of course it's BMW, older bike, older riders, this thing is cheaper than the CRF to insure. The CRF was more money than the BMW. Only by about 20 quid, but the CRF was like 100 and this was 80 or something. So yeah, it's just mental really, isn't it? So, I mean, yeah, I'm not selling it anytime soon, and I'll probably sell it it'll be going to the scrappers probably. It'll live with me and it will die. Sorry, you're going to die with me, buddy. But you see these BMW owners selling them, and a lot of BMW owners I see, they sell them when they get too old and the bikes are too big. But they are getting to like 60, 70, and that's probably the big 1250s and all that. But you see the 1250s with like 100,000 plus miles on the clock. I don't know about these because it's 650, and depending on how you ride it, you're pushing the engine a lot harder than 1200 would work. So there is that to bear in mind. But But yeah, they still make these engines today. They just put them in the BSA Gold Stars. So 650 single goes in there. It's Rotax engine. The same Rotax engine was in the Aprilia Pegaso. Now, why did that bike fail? Because everything around it was Italian. I think it was like a slightly different piston size or something, or I can't remember what they did. It's the same engine, but then like everything else around it wasn't. And them Pegasos, you don't see too many of them on the road. They're really, really rare. We don't see any Totals really, but you do see the odd 650 every now and then. You do see the odd 650 every now and then. So yeah. Anyway, it's just my ramblings on the BMW 650. I've had it 10 years. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.